Gregory Hunt has spent the last 35 years on Alabama's death row, convicted of a crime that happened back in 1988. That's nearly 4 decades awaiting his fate. But believe it or not, his case isn't even the longest. In an upcoming video, I'll be diving into the story of Richard Jordan, a man who's been caught in the grip of Mississippi's death row system for 49 years. He was first sentenced in 1976, and despite several reversals, the outcome remained the same: death. Jordan is now 79, and his execution is currently scheduled for June 25th. But we'll explore his story in full soon. For now, let's turn our attention back to Gregory Hunt. His case is, tragically, one that echoes a pattern seen far too often: an act of domestic violence that ended in death. It's a reminder that some of the most heartbreaking crimes happen behind closed doors. What's particularly difficult about this case is the lack of available information on the victim. I was unable to locate a photo or detailed records that would allow me to properly honor her life and memory. As her execution date nears, perhaps her loved ones or the media will share more so her story can finally be told. Here's what we do know. In 1988, Gregory Hunt, then 28, was in a relationship with Karen Sanders Lane, a 32-year-old married woman believed to be in the midst of a divorce. Despite owning her own home, Karen was temporarily living with her cousin Tina and Tina's 2 children in an apartment in Cordova, Alabama. On the afternoon of August 1st, one day before the crime, Hunt was at that apartment. Tina was resting in another room, and her ex-husband had stopped by to pick up their kids, accompanied by his girlfriend. That girlfriend later told authorities that as they were leaving, Hunt was visibly upset. He began shouting about Karen, expressing frustration and even saying he was planning to return to Miami. His words turned darker. He claimed Karen made him so angry that he could kill her. It was a chilling statement in hindsight. By 6 p.m. that day, Hunt had left the apartment. Later that evening, Karen and Tina visited Tina's boyfriend's place, only to find Hunt's van already there. Strangely, it seemed that Hunt and Tina's boyfriend were friends. Tina went inside, while Karen, perhaps sensing trouble, drove away. When Hunt answered the door, he immediately asked where Karen was. When Tina told him that Karen had gone to see her mother, it only made him more agitated. That night, Hunt confided in a friend, saying he was going to take care of the problem with Karen. The weight of those words would become horrifyingly clear. Hours later, Hunt called Tina, demanding to know Karen's whereabouts. He had already found out she wasn't at her mother's home, and from there, everything unraveled. As tensions escalated, Gregory Hunt made a chilling statement to Karen's cousin. He implied she was with another man and warned that he was willing to return to prison if that's what it took to solve the problem. That night, the events took a dark turn. Witnesses later reported seeing Hunt drive his van to a house owned by Karen, though she wasn't living there at the time. Moments later, he was seen leaving the property, and shortly after, flames engulfed the home. The fire was no accident. Not long after, Hunt was spotted at the residence of a woman named Deborah Twilley. The nature of their relationship remains unclear, but what is known is that she returned home from work and found him already inside. According to official reports, Hunt confessed to Deborah that he had just set his girlfriend's house on fire. Later that evening, Hunt made another call, this time to the home of Tina's boyfriend, where he had called before. When asked about Karen, the man on the line didn't hold back. He told Hunt that everyone knew the house had burned down and that all fingers were pointing at him. Shortly after, multiple witnesses claimed to have seen Hunt chasing after Karen in his vehicle. She reportedly managed to escape for the moment, but the terror didn't end there. Hours later, at around 2 a.m., a witness observed Hunt outside Karen's apartment in Cordova, the one she shared with Tina and Tina's children. Karen was alone that night. Hunt shattered a window and forced his way inside. What happened next was both violent and tragic. After the attack, rather than calling for help, Hunt picked up the phone and dialed the number for Tina's boyfriend once again. He claimed he had just arrived at the apartment and found Karen lifeless on the kitchen floor. But his story didn't add up. He would go on to blame Karen's estranged husband, insisting he had nothing to do with it. But investigators weren't convinced. The trail of events, the arson, the threats, the final confrontation, it all pointed back to one man. After the murder, Gregory Hunt vanished. He fled Alabama, crossing state lines and staying on the move for over a month. Authorities launched a multi-state search, and in October they finally caught up with him. The forensic evidence gathered at the crime scene was overwhelming, along with witness statements from the day leading up to Karen Lane's death. It all pointed in one direction. Hunt was arrested and charged. As he awaited trial, he reportedly confided in a fellow inmate. That inmate would later testify in court, saying Hunt admitted to being heavily intoxicated the day of the murder, drinking and using drugs, and that he simply snapped, believing Karen was involved with someone else. Substance abuse, jealousy, and violence. Once again, a lethal combination that ended in tragedy. Karen's story is not just one of loss. It's a haunting reminder of the dangers some people face in their own relationships. There's one detail that continues to resonate: an inscription on Karen Lane's gravestone. It reads, "Crime will probably not decrease until being a criminal becomes more dangerous than being a victim." It's a sobering thought, one that raises a difficult question. How do we shift that balance? How do we create a world where victims are safer and accountability is swift and certain? If you're interested in stories like this, stories of justice, consequence, and the lives forever changed by crime, make sure to hit the subscribe button so you never miss an update.